All right, I think we're officially live. Hello, everybody. Um,
What's going on, guys?
we got
Hey.
Marc and Kaley here. Marc's CEO and Kaley's our accountant. Can crunch all those numbers like nobody's business. Um, First of all, just can we get just test the chat real quick to make sure the audio is sounding good.
Hi, how's everyone going today? It's Friday. It's weird that the YouTube version is behind the Zoom version.
Yeah, we're definitely
Yeah,
not streaming pros, but hey, we're doing our best here. I got my fancy camera set up for the stream. You guys look good though.
Yeah, mine's just my regular camera.
Got Niles in there.
Cool. Audio's good. Yeah, there might be a tiny bit of a delay. I was doing some tests and should be good to go. But other than that, I mean, we can get right into it in case people are watching playback, and then we can answer just like some other fun random questions about Moment. But yeah, start firing away in the comments or in the chat if you have any questions related to kind of the topics right now that we're going to chat through. But kind of go ahead and take it away, Marc and Kaley, why you guys wanted to get on here and chat with creators about kind of what's going on and how that can be a benefit for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of our core reasons we exist is to empower creatives, and so a big way we can help is just a bunch of paperwork, legal stuff. We've all kind of started these little companies or work with a lot of independent contractors, and it's just confusing, very confusing. So Kaylee and I probably spent the last few weeks on it, reading stuff, watching stuff, talking to lawyers, banks. I think the intent is great, which is try to help small companies, even independent contractors, which is pretty unique. Usually it's like unemployment only. And so what we tried to do is organize this stuff for you guys and put up a session here to answer a bunch of questions. So people have them, you can fire away. Otherwise, we can take a bunch of moment questions that get thrown in here, whether it's product or team.
I was thinking too, you could do a quick breakdown of what the CARE Act is, or just kind of like what, if you have a creator that has no idea what it is, kind of like me prior to reading a little bit about. Want to do like a Cliff Notes version?
Yeah, let me pull up that Twitter thread we put. But
Yeah.
high level, so if you're in the U.S., what the U.S.'s federal government's passed was a thing called the CARES Act. The premise is to help, which is unique, is help small businesses, independent contractors, sole proprietors. A lot of creators are. So let's say you work for a brand or do some side work. Usually you set up a sole proprietorship. Sometimes you'll set up a little company or a creative agency. And so they're trying to do is provide loans and ways to keep these businesses going. The whole premise is it's better to have people in little companies than it is to have them on unemployment. And so this passed a couple of weeks ago, and now like today's the first day you can start to apply. And it's a bit of chaos. And so we tried to do in that tweet storm was just outline kind of the three things to look at. First was you kind of look at your state. So you go to the state you're in and you look at, hey, what can I do for unemployment? And each state's different. So look through the list of options. You're going to look through like how to apply, etc. Then after the states, there were kind of two things we highlighted for you guys. One was it's called payment. It's called PPP loans.
The payment protection program.
Payment protection program. This one is all about if you have employees as well as if you are like a single entity employee. But the idea is the government's providing some loans so you keep people employed. So it kind of looks at how many people have you had employed the last 12 months. As long as you keep those people employed or the same number of people employed through the end of the year, then those loans become forgiven, which is almost like free money, which is amazing.
That's
It
cool.
allows you just to take that money and keep people employed. And because one of the biggest challenges right now is everyone's basically losing revenue or losing work. So we're seeing little brands have sales that are probably down 20, 40%. Independent contractors are just losing brand work, or brands try to figure out their advertising budgets. And so what that lets you do is get some loans that can be forgiven so you can pay people. And that should free up your other cash so that you can, still find customers or spend whatever you need to spend on.
Right.
The other one I always screw up. Is it ELDI, Taylor, or EDLI?
It's EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
None of the three.
Good
So
acronyms.
there's a second loan you can take. Yeah, this one is a little bit more, it's called SBA, it's traditional. So what you can do is apply. What's unique is they can give you about a $10,000 grant while you wait for application to go through. This one is funds not for employees, in a sense, for everything else you need to run your business, things like rent and internet, etc. This one you do have to pay back, and it is based a little bit on up to a certain dollar amount of personal guarantees. So that's another option, but that's based on if your business is slowed or your business, your agency in a sense is customers have gone away. And so that's the second one you can do. And so we try to do is just outline that for people, give you a bunch of links. The main thread you have to think about if you're applying for this stuff, at least the PPP ones, you have to do it through a bank. And the downside is through a bank is if you don't have an existing bank that's writing these, you have to go get a new bank. So like Kaley called 36 banks the other day. They also they're not taking new clients yet. So that is one potential challenge for people is, hey, my bank doesn't support this stuff. What do I do?
The one thing with the EIDL, you can use that for payroll and for expenses because the CARES Act only provided a certain amount of funding. And so once that funding is used up for the PPP loan, you can turn to the EIDL loan because that one is a repayment. So you can use them both for the same things, but you'd want to look at the PPP loan first and then the EIDL loan for other expenses.
But as creators or like sole proprietors, if you own a business that you don't have any employees, you're saying you can kind of in the States now apply for, there's different options for unemployment that they're able to do now?
Yeah, it's broken down on a state level. Each state kind of has the ability to make their own rules around it, but a lot of states are opening up the ability to apply for unemployment for self-employed individuals or the sole proprietors, whereas before that wasn't an option.
Cool. I just posted a link to that tweet storm that we did in the chat. So I think it's a hyperlink, so you guys can check that out. But that has a lot of the documents and links that we were just talking about in there. Kaley, did you want to walk through anything else, like share your screen? I know we had talked about doing that with some of those websites. Or that.
Yeah, I mean, I can share my screen and kind of go over some of the documents that we linked in that Twitter. Let me get that pulled up here 1 second. So this first one that I'm
sorry.
Get into forms.
It's just a sample application that you can grab.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
I messed up the
Caleb's new to YouTube.
I'm new to streaming. I'm no gamer here. I wish I was. Gosh. Okay, go for it. You're on they got your screen now.
Okay, so this first form, it's just an example application for the PPP program. A lot of banks are going to change this and can format it to be specifically for their bank, but it just kind of gives you an overview of like the basic things they're going to look for. So you can kind of go through it and be prepared. So when you go to apply, you come ready and it's not going to be a big process because the bank's not going to figure out anything for you. You have to come with all your documents and say, this is what I need. This is what backs up how much I need, etc. There are a couple options outside of the PPP loan, the EIDL one that we talked about. There's also an SBA bridge loan. So you can apply for a loan for up to $25,000 and it's fairly quick. It doesn't take as long as it does to apply for the EIDL or the Paycheck Protection Program, but it's paid off with the funds from those other loans. So it's kind of just a temporary loan to help you get to the point where you're approved. Then there's also the SBA debt relief. So if you have a current SBA loan, you can look into that and they'll pay your interest payments for a certain amount of time and kind of help bridge the gap and save some cash up front. There's this really good checklist. It kind of goes through all the things that you're going to need if you're eligible for the PPP loan, what are they going to be looking for, how much can you borrow and how to calculate it. And it just kind of goes through all the basics and it's a really good starting point for making sure you have everything together along with that application. Everything else is just kind of informative, like the state and local government. This is a link to all the state's unemployment websites. The SBA has a list of 100 of the most active SBA lenders. So if your current bank isn't participating in the program, you can check this site out and kind of go through and see if any of these banks will take you on. When I did call the banks, I did get shut down quite a lot. As a business, they're really focusing on their current clients. It might be different for self-employed sole proprietors, so it's still worth checking out to see if you can get financing through another bank.
Yeah, I think they're not going to let us come back on the channel again. I'm just getting forms.
That's awesome. That's super helpful stuff. I just got some chat threads that were like, turn your Slack notifications off.
Me?
No, me.
Oh. I was like, I did.
There's one question on the EIDL. Do you have to pay it back, Kaley? That's one question in here.
Yeah, so the $10,000 grant, if you get that, you don't necessarily have to pay that back, but the remainder of the EIDL, anything over that, is repaid. The payment terms kind of vary. I think they can go up to like 10 years though, and the interest rate is pretty reasonable, sitting usually around 3%.
Tommy wants to know if we're still paying Caleb. Yeah, he's not working for free. He also wanted to know if turnaround time for actually applying for these loans. So the main thing is that you can start applying today. And so we don't totally know yet as far as which banks are doing it, how fast they're doing it. And the sole proprietors, individuals can start applying on the 10th. But we'll find out pretty fast. So the goal today was just like get you guys some info and post this and try to help other creators. So feel free to tag friends that have started something or sole proprietors, or if you have questions, you guys can email us and help. Kaley and I are around to help. So
yeah, that's awesome stuff.
The processing time is really going to depend. I think it depends on your bank. Each bank's going to have a different application. Each bank's going to have a different process. So some banks may process them faster than others. Some banks don't even have the applications open yet because they're still trying to figure out all the specifics of it. But it's going to be a challenge for everybody to kind of get used to, but it's definitely going to be worth it in the end.
And Kaley, what was that spreadsheet that you had made that's in that Google Doc? What does that help do?
So you can go through it and lay out all your costs, and it kind of helps you calculate like what you can apply for that PPP loan. Okay. And then it shows you a breakdown. So if you get that PPP loan, the portion that's forgiven is if you use it for payroll costs, rent, utilities, and some mortgage payments. If you use it for anything other than that, whatever portion you use for other than that has to be repaid. So that will be an actual loan that you have to repay over time. I think the repayment term on that is 2 years, just because most of it's supposed to be forgiven. But that spreadsheet will allow you to lay out, okay, these are my payroll costs, these are my utilities, these are my mortgage, and then any other costs. And it kind of breaks it out, okay, these, if you use it for this is what's going to be forgiven. And if you use it for these expenses, this is what you're going to have to pay back.
Cool. Sweet. Well, I think that's really helpful information, and we'll obviously leave this channel or this video up on YouTube after the fact. So if people do want to go through and take a peek at anything we just said, all the links will be in the description after we get this up. If there's any more questions, though, yeah, we just kind of want to hang out in the chat for a second longer.
We need some good Caleb questions. What do you guys want to know about Caleb?
I'll show you what I'm eating lunch right now, dude. Cup of noodles. This is a self-isolation meal. Is that the content you want? Nah. It's been fun to kind of try to be more creative while being at home, especially with the team making different content and what we can do just specifically on YouTube. And it's been challenging, but hope everyone is doing okay. I know creators right now are it's different than it's ever been. So have to be smart with the decisions and like moving forward, learning as much as you can. And these things really do help. So take some time to see if you can get some of that free money, kind of free.
Yeah, what's super interesting too is a lot of brands are struggling. A lot of like larger brands or do a lot of kind of event-based marketing, and all that's like gone. And so there's also a chance if you're a hustler and a creative, I'd be messaging brands that you love and be like, hey, what work can I do? What work is available? Like, give me some stuff to work on, like little campaigns, because all of them need online campaigns now, and they didn't need those before. And so if you're hustling, you can actually create a lot of opportunities now as a creative, just starting to do work or project work or helping them with their online approach. But every brand who does stuff physical that you see, like all that marketing is gone. They have to figure out like, how do I do this stuff online and keep customers coming in? And so right now I'd be messaging like every brand that you love, what work can you do for them? How can you help, etc.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Help them set up their live streams. Sweet. Well, if there's anything else you guys want to say, I think that's a good ending there. Thanks for hopping on. And
meet everyone.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Kaley. I know this isn't, your usual.
She knows all the info. I'm just repeating what she's actually saying.
She's the brains.
I did a lot of research.
Yeah. There's my dog. Kaley, where's your dog?
Dogs. They're all throughout the house sleeping.
Marc doesn't.
I have 3 of them, so.
Children.
Yeah, almost the same.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a nice Friday. I feel like I can't just like you know, talk weird with you guys because it's not Niles or Taylor Kearns. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. Just kidding.
Spreadsheets. We're going to give you spreadsheets.
Perfect. Perfect.
Spreadsheet forms.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to end this stream here. And everybody else watching, thanks so much for joining us today. And if you do have questions, like Marc mentioned, just tweet at us, shoot us an email. Just get in touch if you have anything specific. We're here to help, and we do want to see creators succeed during this time. And let's get creative, and it's going to be a little different, but it'll be good.
All right.
All right.
See you guys.
Later.
Yeah.